French dress.
It's not inclusive enough.
What's not inclusive, Reggie?
How's it going, everybody?
Hey!
We're back for another episode.
Reggie's in rare form.
Yes, as you'll see later. What are we talking about today?
Controversial art.
Oh, cool.
I figured it's a fitting topic because of Dr. Seuss and Potato Head.
Oh, God. All those recent developments
Yeah,
of things getting canceled.
yeah.
How do you feel about that, Reggie?
Things have been
I
getting
feel like
canceled
it's
for-
time for me to write that episode about comic books getting canceled in the 50s. Because
Yeah, you were talking about that earlier. That'd be a good thing to dive into.
Yeah. For some reason in the 50s, Christian conservatives were not cool with guns, which confuses me.
Now they are.
It angers and confuses me.
Were they not cool with it because they couldn't get enough of them?
I don't know. No, they canceled everything from like horror comics to soldier comics to fucking cowboy comics to like detective
into that.
books.
We should do a whole episode on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
we
sure.
did touch on that briefly in the Frank Frazetta
Yeah,
episode.
because he lost a lot of work during that time period.
Yeah.
And had to learn how to market himself to a different market.
So stay tuned for a future episode
I
that
should write that this week.
we have no idea when it's going to be.
We don't plan things.
Yeah, see you in about 2 years from now.
Yeah. When one of us remember, it was mentioned at one point.
When one of us remembers to watch this back and be like, hey,
Oh, yeah, we were going to do that thing.
Oh, yeah.
We could do director's cut episodes where we narrate our old episodes.
How long do you think it'll happen before one of us writes an episode that already has been written? We record the whole thing and we go to post it and they're like,
Fuck.
Wait, we did an episode on William Blake?
Did we already
We
do an
did.
episode on Landis? Shit.
Second one. All right,
What about cooning?
Cheers.
Did we do an episode on cooning?
de Kooning?
No, cooning.
that is like brother or something.
His second cousin.
All right, let's plug our stuff. I'm Josh Ruff at joshruff.com and all the things, www.joshruff.com. And we're here at Renaissance Studios again, at RS Tattoo NY on Instagram.
Hi, Reggie Cuvelier here. You can find me at Reggie Inks on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I have a newly launched Patreon in which you can buy a drawing from me once a month. Thank you.
Cool.
I'm Christina Maslar. You can find me at Christina_Maslar on Instagram, Christina Maslar on Facebook, at Crucible, at home on my couch, here in the back room. This is Bam Margera.
He was originally sponsored by Toy Machine before he went on to work
You
for
know him from
Element.
CKY2K
Yeah.
and Jackass.
Ed Templeton got sick of sponsoring all of his CKY bullshit.
You could also find me on Jackass. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
BamBurnStinks.com.
Yep.
I was about to say that.
Our sponsor, as always, is
The North Brewery. Stop over there, get some super freezy citrus crush.
Ooh.
and not our sponsor is Panera, but I'll keep plugging them until they give me free coffee.
Pantera
Or they tell
bread.
you to stop.
Yeah, I'll hold their name hostage for some free coffee.
They're just going to text you one of these days and be like, yo,
We can no longer deliver. To you.
Hashtag Pantera bread.
If it was
is
Pantera
super
bread,
in.
I would just eat there every day
Yeah.
with a vulgar display of power.
My appetite is far beyond driven.
Yes, exactly. You see where I'm going with this. I'm
Oh,
hungry,
if I
like
only
a
had-
cowboy from hell.
If I only had 5 minutes alone with this sandwich.
Yeah.
where is this episode going?
Tina.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
You wrote another episode for us.
You
I
did.
Love you
did.
for that. Thank you.
Because
No
she's the most
problem.
organized.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
like
is.
midnight, I was like, no one's responding. I should probably find something to do tomorrow.
Yeah, so as a heads up, usually we write these things day of. So research.
You don't have to tell the
is-
audience that. We spend so much time processing this information through checkers and fact checkers
See-
and
Wikipedia.
Facebook algorithms that check our information.
When we started, I was like, I'm going to watch all these documentaries and then read books. And now I'm like, what does Wikipedia have for me today?
Well, you're like, who the fuck has time for all that? You know,
Yeah.
I have so many art documentaries on a fucking art hard drive that died.
Oh, no.
Where did you find these art documentaries?
The internet's butthole.
Okay,
There's
cool.
some good
Cool.
ones on YouTube and Amazon. I start them, but I usually get sidetracked. And all those fucking ads, man.
yeah,
You okay? Stop
YouTube's
rubbing your
excessive
nipples.
with ads.
No, I
now.
just had some
It's-
weird chest pain.
It's crazy.
Oh, that's good. Tingling in your left arm?
A little bit.
So we better get this show on the road.
Yeah, we'll figure it
Let's
out
not
later.
have a heart
Bam
attack
dies.
for the episode.
Bam Margera will never die.
I mean, how is Jackass 4 or whatever going to come out? Or 3? Is it 3? Who knows?
4, but not. He's not included.
He had a little bit of a breakdown because
Yeah,
of
but
it.
Steve-O's also straight edge now, so what the fuck are they going to do there?
Steve-O's got a great podcast, though.
He
You watch his
does.
It's pretty
podcast.
funny.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's pretty funny.
Can we just have a podcast where we talk about other people's podcasts?
The podcast review podcast.
Oh, let's do an episode.
Somebody's
just-
going to do that soon because
just review.
everybody listens to podcasts now.
I had a friend of mine who told me she was doing that. Somebody had tattooed last week.
yeah.
We tried to start a podcast that was reviewing other podcasts.
Just podcast recaps.
Well, stay tuned for next week because we're probably going to do
Basically,
that
a
episode.
clips channel for all podcasts.
Clipscast.
But
Inception that
each
shit.
episode, we're only going to review one episode of another person's podcast.
But only recap podcasts, so we recap the recaps.
Well, no. So we'll just play the entire Steve-O podcast, and at the end, we'll give our opinion for like 3 seconds. And that'll be it.
Zero work. That sounds good.
Yeah,
That's the
cool.
YouTube way, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah.
Ripping other people off.
I love you, YouTube.
All right, so let's get this rolling.
Yeah.
Before Reggie falls asleep.
This episode's about controversial art. We're gonna
Controversial artwork.
Yeah.
Please tell me more.
We're going to start all the way back in 1837.
So long ago.
So St. Paul's Cathedral, it's in Liège, Belgium, decided they wanted to give their church pulpit an upgrade.
I'm assuming that's this one.
Yeah. They had a theme. Their theme that was chosen was the triumph of religion over genius of evil.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what that garden was named?
No. that was going to be
shit.
their pulpit.
Sorry, that's a dumb comment right off the bat. What? Fuck that garden.
That's a pretty dark looking church, though.
It is. The inside's pretty rad looking. I did not include any of those photos.
The outside's pretty cool, too. I mean,
The
that
inside-
garden, expertly landscaped.
The inside has some really cool like arches and shit. Even though there's tons of windows, it doesn't look like it has any windows. It's very dark and dreary and my kind of place, you know?
I want to live there.
Anyway, in 1837, they hired sculptor Joseph Giefs. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. To
Is that
sculpt
this guy?
the centerpiece. Yeah, check out that dude.
Wait, what's
Colonel
his name?
Sanders.
What's his name again?
Joseph Giefs.
Giefs?
Giefs? Giefs? I don't know.
Like GIFS.
Like peanut butter?
Yes. No, it's GEEFS, but
Jif? Oh.
I'll call it a GIF. I
Jeeves?
guess.
Like Ask Jeeves?
Yes.
Okay.
They wanted him to sculpt the centerpiece statue for the pulpit called L'Ange du Mal. The statue was completed in 1842 and was installed in 1843. The statue was supposed to portray a sullen, regretful Lucifer. Look at him right there.
Oh, he's pretty.
Yeah, so people got upset immediately. They thought he sculpted Lucifer that was too pretty. If it wasn't for the bat wings, they said it looked like a statue of Adonis instead of a face of regret. He had a blue steel scowl. Just,
Zoolander's.
and worst of all, his knees were parted. Look at that.
Oh my God.
What a whore.
Look at you. If you stare hard enough, you could probably see nothing.
That's
What?
pretty funny, though.
That's a hussy right there.
It is. So people got real upset because his knees were parted.
I thought they would just be upset that you put, like, the devil, basically, in the middle of a church.
They requested it, but it was supposed to be like the devil regretful because he fell from heaven. All his
So
mistakes.
what did they?
But
What did they realistically expect? Like fucking Dave Grohl and red paint?
I don't know. But reporters said Lucifer was too sublime, his pardonese were too salacious, and distracting women and girls who should be listening to sermons.
Keep in mind, this is the late 1800s.
Holy
was.
shit.
So they took that shit
His
out.
knees parted by 3 inches were too salacious.
Too salacious.
Salacious.
He had a wardrobe malfunction.
I love
as
that
it were.
word, salacious.
Salacious.
I'm looking real hard and I don't see any dick hanging out under
What?
the fucking
But maybe
leg
that's what they were upset
It's too distracting
with.
for the girls.
They would just stare to see if a dick peeked out the whole time.
The cuttlefish of Cthulhu is not hanging beyond.
Technically, the devil was an angel. You saw Dogma. There's no
Oh,
dicks.
yeah.
Yeah, it's true. They don't
That's
have
right.
anything
Yeah,
down
He's
they're
there.
all
hung like a
smoothed
Ken
down there
doll.
in that movie.
Yeah.
So they
I did some cherubs earlier today and I made sure they had a loincloth covering their little baby dicks.
Ooh, we'll get to some loincloth shit later.
Ooh.
Cool.
So fret not. They hired Joseph's elder bludder.
Bludder.
Are there-
Older.
were there any other
Whatever.
images of this one in particular?
There might be one more of him doing blue steel right there.
Oh,
right there.
yeah, that's Blue
Oh.
Steel.
Look at his scowl, just looking, being
Yeah.
all intense and blue steel.
He's just trying to figure it out. He's like, it's just so hard.
The only thing
with
that
all
would make
these-
this better is if they just lightly misted it with like air, like water.
Oh,
So
you
he was just like.
you just wait there.
Oh,
You
put a
just shut
smoke,
your
put
pretty
a
little
smoke
face.
machine behind it.
No, I'm saying so. Like he looks like he just came out of the water and just looking like
We're not
right
done
off
yet.
the beach.
We're not done.
Oh, I know where it's going.
So they hired his brother Guillaume Gives to make a new statue. So in 1848, the new statue was unveiled. He took the criticism of his brother's
Oh, I
statue
think this is another
into
image.
consideration. Yeah. So the new commission had less godlike and more lifelike. They gave him bedhead with curls and a horn peeking out to remind you, he's the devil.
Oh,
They gave him more ab and rib muscles for
Yeah,
definition.
dude, he's got fucking serratus muscles. It's like, what the fuck
like,
workout regimen is Satan?
I regret I am so hot.
Ugh.
Oh,
Who gives a statue of the devil fuck me eyes?
wait, hold on to it. They gave him an ankle chain.
He's got nunchucks too, which by Michelangelo setters, he's ready to fuck.
They give him a little ankle chain because he's a
Into-
bad boy.
Into BDSM
And there's
as well.
the apple right there. Cool.
Yeah, an apple and little talon toenails.
I like those details. It's cool.
And on top of it all, if you go to the next one, they gave him one tear running down his cheek to show regret. Just one. So he
Aw.
effectively created a more smoldering version of the first guy.
Hotter version.
But it
of
was
Lucifer.
okay because he didn't have the 3-inch gap between his knees. And dudes know that women hate a smoldering bad guy with a sensitive side.
So first round,
So-
so first round they got the Walmart guy. Second round they went with the Hollister model without the shirt.
I wonder if
on.
Yeah.
these two
Stand-
brothers talk to each other. It's like,
They were like-
dude, they fucked me over hard. Can you just make him hotter?
And he was like,
they get angrier.
I got you. This statue
They're not
is
gonna
still
buy a
there
third one.
today.
What happened
It
to the
is-
other one?
They removed it. Someone else bought it, I think.
Somebody in Detroit brought the Lord statue of Satanos.
They probably chipped off the wings and they were like, "Yo, check out this Jesus."
Well, he didn't have facial hair, and you'll find out about that later.
they put a fake mustache on it.
Oh, I'm so mildly regretful.
Yeah, look at the tear running down my face.
My horns.
Basically,
And my
so
rockin' abs.
These deep cut serratus muscles.
I love that the first one was so not built at all, and they were just like, "Man, he's too attractive. Get him out of here." And they're like, "Yeah, we'll
Give him
make
a
a more
sexier
regretful
pose.
one."
Let's give him
funny.
wider shoulders, a broader chin.
What are they?
a bigger
What are they
dick.
expecting the devil who entices people to commit crimes to look like?
He's
Like,
supposed to be the most beautiful one,
right, but I mean, what do you think he's going to look like? A fat pot-bellied guy cooking up some fried chicken? Like,
no,
I like
but
the
they probably
Baphomet
didn't.
imagery where he's just got like a goat head and some wings.
yeah.
He's
And
casting
beer belly
spells
and
on you.
tits.
I'm not sure that's the
Yeah.
same thing, though.
No, it's different.
I know.
It's a
Yeah.
different demon, but it's Christianity. They just lump all that shit together.
I know,
they do.
Close enough.
oh man, Christianity was like the first corporate big fish.
Yeah,
Like, oh, we're just gonna eat these little religions.
yeah.
that,
We're
like,
just
okay.
gonna steal their gods. and
Hey,
make
you know
them
how you
bad.
view the devil? We got that too.
We're going to take all this
We
stuff
got a
and put it in a
cooler-
nice little package that you can worship and give us money for.
I think the best part is though that he put him in like a Chippendale stripper pose.
It's like, oh, have you guys seen my shirt?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My eyes are here, not my gyrating hips.
That's what I'm saying. This is. I've seen this guy in front of Hollister back in 2006.
Yeah.
Was it Josh Payne's older brother, Matt Payne? Who he literally used to get paid to sit outside Hollister with his shirt off.
Shout out to Josh Payne.
That's hilarious.
God.
Well, he had a butterfly on his crotch. It's a stick of butter with wings on it.
Perfect.
That's a good one.
Oh my God. Are you naughty?
I just love the fact that it's still here today. Like you could go there and still see that dude just hanging out under the pulpit.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So what's next here?
Next one is Marcus Harvey.
This is a full
Oh
view of
yeah,
the
it's a
statue.
full view.
That's like the only thing they changed is his knees are a little bit closer together. Like, yo, hide his dick. Put his knees closer together.
Put his knees closer together, but edge out a little bit more on that rock. So if they're underneath, they could still see that he has nothing there.
So hot. Hansel is so hot right now.
It does kind of look like Owen Wilson's character from Zoolander.
Oh my God.
Oh shit. So that was Lucifer. The next one is Marcus Harvey's Myra. So in 1997, the Royal Academy of London.
Did we just jump 150 years?
We did,
Cool.
but Royal
Time
Academy, you know, Sloshua.
Yes,
Royal
that we talked
Academy.
about in the last episode.
Yeah.
The pre-Raphaelites.
Who's going to be Sloshua tonight?
I am Sloshua.
I'm kind of up there right now.
So Marcus Harvey made this giant ass painting. It was displayed for part of an art show that they had there of young British artist called Sensation. This painting was 9 feet by 11 feet. And it was made by taking a cast of an infant's hand and using it as a paintbrush to make all the gray and black marks.
There's something very creepy
That's
about
weird.
that.
Oh, it gets weirder. So the painting drew outrage because the portrait was of Myra Hindley. And Myra Hindley was part of the serial killer group of the Moore murders. So her and her boyfriend would kidnap, lure, and murder 10 to 17-year-old children
Oh my God.
and bury them in the moors. So
And
this
they
was
painted it with an
an
impression
infant
of a
hand.
children's hand.
In 97. So not only was Myra still alive, the parents of the children were still alive. And this took place in fucking Britain.
Oh man.
So
Is that where the serial killer was as well?
Yeah. So that's where the murders took place. That's where she lived, was in prison.
Wow.
The kid's parents still live. So one of the kids that was never found, his mom asked them not to hang it. And they were like, it'll be fine. And they hung it anyway. So a protest ensued. They broke out the windows of the Royal Academy, like the base of it. Some guy, let me see, I have his name written somewhere.
Do you think a dude showed up without a shirt on and animal horns?
No.
God.
Protester named Peter Fish smuggled red and blue India ink and a camera bag and smashed and smeared it all over the painting.
Is there a picture of that?
Yep. That one right there is them trying to clean it up. And then after that guy was drug away, another guy named Jacques Roll threw 3 to 4 eggs at it. Try to...
Jacques?
Jacques, yeah.
Somebody egged it after it got inked?
That's funny.
After it got inked.
Did you just witness her give me the middle finger?
No one saw anything.
What are you talking about?
It was so bad that Myra Hindley herself wrote a letter asking him to take it down, saying that it was a sole disregard not only for the emotional pain and trauma that would inevitably be experienced by the families of the Moors victims, but also families of child victims anywhere.
So wait, the killer herself was like, "Hey, take that shit down."
Yeah.
Was
and
like,
Royal
oh,
Academy was just like, we're just going to clean it and keep it there until the end of the exhibition.
Wow.
So
Even the murderer was like, yo.
Yeah.
They wanted
fuck up.
that sweet cheddar from whatever
Yep.
this exhibit was.
That's just the thing. I think it was a student exhibit. So
But it probably drew a lot of people there to
Yeah.
see that if there's some kind of controversy around it.
And basically, the person that painted it was
Witches.
convinced that she didn't actually kill anybody, that Ian did it, and she took the blame.
Which is part of the point that cancel culture is just as fueled by outrage of it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perpetuate controversy and draw enough attention to what you're doing.
But if you ever want to look this whole more murder up thing, like if you're into true crime, do it. Otherwise, don't, because it's fucked up. It is so fucked up.
You've told me a little bit about it late at night, and don't do it.
Don't do it. There's a good reason people were upset.
Do you have a link where people could do it?
If you go to Amazon, they have a pretty good documentary, but it's good, but the worst part about it is they get firsthand interviews with the families of the kids.
Oh, so some of those soul wrenching.
Yeah, like the mom that tried to get them to take it down, she clearly is.
Do they talk about this in the documentary?
No. She's still like
you can tell she's just drunk.
Pills, yeah. Actually, it wasn't that one. It was the last victim they had. Her mom is still. Yeah, it's just all fucked up. This one is one that's reasonably.
Well, normally
outrageable.
anything involving child murder is pretty fucked.
We started with
Yeah.
something really funny, and then
It goes back to funny stuff.
oh,
Don't
thank
worry.
God.
Yeah, that's the end of.
It's controversy we're talking about here. It's not always pleasant.
It's not. This is the least pleasant of the bunch.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. So the Royal Academy just cleaned it and left it up.
Tell us about this giant butt plug here.
I mean, speaking of cleaning things,
So this one's
always make sure to
by
clean your
tree. Paul
Your tree.
McCarthy tree. It
Paul
was part-
McCartney.
No, McCarthy.
Oh,
It was part of an exhibit in 2014. It was 79 feet tall and inflatable, and it was displayed in Paris, France. The sculpture was part of a Christmas tree. It was supposed to be a Christmas tree, but clearly it's a giant butt plug. If we're going to be honest, it's a giant green butt plug. Even the dude that made it is kind of like, yeah, it's a butt plug. It was up for 2 days. Someone jumped the fence around it and cut the air supply, like the power cord to give it air supply. And he was just like, don't bother fixing it. It was just a giant butt plug.
Why would you ruin something that glorious?
Don't worry. There's a silver lining to the sculpture being ruined.
Oh, yes.
There was a boom in butt plug sales in Paris at the time. A shop owner said they went from the normal $50 a month to that November selling 1,000 butt plugs.
So that was a pretty good advertisement for butt plugs in general.
So dudes just walking home from work was like,
Hey, I wonder what that is. Maybe I should look it up. Oh, it's a butt plug. What is that? I'm going to go get one.
you think my wife would like that?
You know,
Huh.
maybe I need to spice things up a little bit.
Maybe not a 79-foot tall one, but
A 6-inch one?
I mean, that's a good way to try to convince someone. Be like, doesn't look so bad now. Huh.
Should we try to go
it's
in
at
the
a
outdoor?
museum.
It's culturally specific.
It's so festive.
So did he do it on purpose?
Yeah, apparently he did it on purpose.
Okay, so he
It's
just did it
like,
as a troll.
Yeah. He's just like, yeah, it's a treat, but it's
It's a conspiracy back to the porno shops of Versailles.
His brother actually owned the porn shop, so
Yeah.
it was a way to boost sales.
Hey, thanks, bro.
I mean, it's pretty smart.
He should have
gotta be
slapped the
honest.
logo of the porn shop on the side of it, too.
Then go to the other side, it just says Pornhub.
Shout out to
He's
Pornhub.
got his link to his OnlyFans on the opposite side.
Shout out to OnlyFans.
Hashtag OnlyFans sponsor me.
Please sponsor us.
Hey, whatever happened to your idea to start a Only Cans? Where you
I was
just
thinking
drink
about
canned beer?
only crayons where I take explicit photos of cranberries in position in spaces.
Oh, I was
where they
thinking
I thought
something
you said
totally
crayon.
different.
Oh,
Yeah.
only crayons?
Yeah.
Oh,
Crayola.
crayons?
Yes.
Yeah.
Crayons?
Like you sitting there with
What am
no
I, like a
pants on,
fucking
just
Philadelphia white person that says crayons?
I suppose
Hey.
either idea is brilliant.
Well, you are white and you're from Philadelphia,
Yeah,
so
only crayons. I do Crayolas in explicit photos where they shouldn't be.
And if you're feeling self-deprecating, use Rose Art.
Fuck Rose Art.
All right, what's
Rose
next
Art,
here?
do not sponsor me.
please do not sponsor us.
I'm pretty sure they just use candles. They were just candles.
Candle wax.
Yes. Candles you can draw with without wicks.
Barely. You could barely draw with them.
There was no color.
It was just like slight scuffs.
All right, so I believe this is our guy, Michelangelo Merisi de Caravaggio. Here.
Yeah. So the next one's going to be Caravaggio, and it is Young, Sick Bacchus.
Did we go back in time?
We went back in time.
Well, there was one that
This is
was
gonna be
not his,
1500s.
though, right?
Yeah. So
That'd be this one.
Yep. So Bacchus is known for being a Roman god,
God of wine.
wine, ecstasy, and fertility. So he's portrayed as having flush red cheeks, and he kind of looks like Santa, but without a shirt and alcohol. Just jovial.
Just a happy dude.
Just
that likes
happy.
getting fucked up all the time.
He's it's the life of the party.
Yeah.
So Caravaggio.
Yeah, he's bringing wine and ecstasy. So yeah, he's the life of the party.
So Caravaggio's version of Bacchus looks a little sickly and greenish and yellow.
Yeah. I
There you
remember.
go.
I remember.
Pale lips.
There's an episode of The Power of Art that talks about Caravaggio where they touch on this painting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
just
is
how sickly it is compared to other portrayals of this
Mm-hmm.
god.
It's less of a homage to partying and health. It looks more like,
A sickly drunk.
yeah. It looks like the morning after a bender, if we're going to be honest. Doesn't look like, hey, wine's going to keep you healthy and young.
So it looks like tomorrow morning.
This is Reggie in about 12 hours.
Did I eat? Nah, I forgot to eat. Shit.
You holding a bagel instead of grapes, like, everything's okay.
I feel like you'll be a little less green, a little more blue. Just
I just blew myself.
Well, I mean, look at his flesh tones, too.
at least
They're-
put the mic closer to yourself if you're gonna.
Yeah, I mean, his flesh tones are like very sickly looking.
Yeah.
Like in this photo. I don't know if it's just the photo, but
Jaundice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
very
actually why
jaundiced.
they think happened.
Cirrhosis.
yeah.
It was jaundice because he had malaria at the time he painted it. So that's why he looks so yellow and green. Because it is his self-portrait. It's self-portrait of Caravaggio.
Oh shit.
I think he did a few of those, though, right?
Yeah. Oh no. Technical difficulties.
I think he needed a new cable. It's a fucking
that
awesome
better?
painting, though.
It's beautiful, but man, does he look sickly.
Just green.
Also, he didn't sign it, so the person that purchased it from him, it was confiscated for tax purposes by the Pope, and then was just handed down randomly. So no one knew it was a Caravaggio until 1927.
Yeah.
Stupid taxes.
Yeah. So this one wasn't so controversial. It was just more like, ew, why is he so green?
Well, every other thing that was painted at this time period, like during the High Renaissance, was not like this. It was,
No.
very reddish, like living flesh color kind of stuff. Like this is kind of, I would say, like a slight perversion of like what people would normally
Oh,
do
yeah.
with this guy.
he
Like
had a couple.
compare it to the other one, obviously. Like
Yeah.
it looks so lively.
That guy's
He
like,
looks
have
a
some
piece of
wine.
shit.
Yeah. And this guy's like, ugh.
That guy looks
Yeah,
like he
y'all got
bought
me smacked.
999 of those 1,000 butt plugs.
Yeah.
See, the other guy looks like he's straight out of like the Always Sunny orgy.
Or
Yeah, I mean, that could be like
Yes.
Danny
Say the
DeVito
password.
right there.
Orgy.
But
guy
Caravaggio
not
had a
so much.
couple.
Do you guys want to go to a rave later? I got glow sticks.
Oh, throw salt on her.
Salt. Jump, Dale.
I haven't really slept in a few days and I forgot to eat, but I'm having a great time.
Stop giving your uncle a handy
I
job
know
at
we've
the
said
table.
this before. We really got to do the Caravaggio episode.
I thought
think,
about doing it yesterday.
He's
and I
one
was
of the
like,
best
it's too much.
scoundrels of art history.
Yeah, this is only
too good.
one of like the pile of paintings that were controversial because people,
Oh, yeah.
the church would just be like, "Can you do this portrait of Mary?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can do a portrait of Mary. I'm gonna make her look bloated and dead." And they're like, "No, we don't want this. She's supposed to look."
We've looked at a
peaceful."
few of his paintings now on
Yeah.
like critiques and other episodes.
Yeah. I find it funny too that he looks so sickly and green and yellow because back in the day, Caravaggio loved to party, and he
Oh,
was
yeah.
probably more of this Bacchus than
Yeah.
he was red cheeked Bacchus.
Yeah.
He was like, you don't want to see him in an alley at night.
Dude,
Yeah,
definitely
what do you
cut
mean I should
loose.
eat vegetables and drink water? Like, that's bullshit. You got wine?
All right, what do we got next here?
So the next one is Michelangelo, The Last
The Sistine
Judgment.
Chapel.
Yeah. The Last Judgment's part of the Sistine Chapel's fresco.
It's a very small image of this, but
Yeah, but we'll get into some detailed shots in a minute.
Gotta get all up in there.
Yeah. It depicts the second coming of Christ and God's final judgment. One side
Second.
are those who are ascending to heaven, and the other side are people getting kicked to hell. There's a long list of controversy with this painting.
Can you say
So-
second coming again?
Second coming.
Oh my God, I'm coming!
I can't stop. It's happening. It's happening. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, the first part they kind of criticized was the fact that Jesus didn't have a beard. And how are you going to
Oh.
be sweet baby Jesus without a beard?
yeah, I mean, look at this guy. He's fucking pulling a knife on him because he doesn't have a beard. It's like, you're not Jesus. Fuck off.
That's St. Bartholomew. You can. I think the next one might be a close.
Sorry, last week you told me to shave my shit.
Oh, yeah, he's got
Yeah.
a flayed skin right
Yeah.
there. Awesome.
Yeah.
Pulled my skin off.
And apparently the flayed skin's supposed to be a portrait of Michelangelo. He put himself
Dude, that's
in
a
there.
skin suit.
Yeah, that's
Fucking
what
Cuomo.
Bartholomew is the saint of.
Fucking Cuomo. It does look like him, too. Oh, man, that's awesome.
It's like fucking Cuomo. Oh, my God.
Oh no. Oh,
Yeah, that was the
shit.
thing they did to people back then, though. Like, fucking
Yeah.
flayed them.
Yeah, that's what
That's some
St.
serious
Bartholomew, like if you find statues of him, it's him wearing a toga of his own skin.
Don't piss me off. I'm going to wear you like a skin suit.
He's even holding the knife that used to flay him. He's just like, see this shit?
And it looks like he's threatening Jesus with it, too. Because he doesn't have a beard.
I love that this is in church.
It is in
Yeah,
church. Yeah.
it's in, like, the penultimate church.
Yeah, the church.
Yeah.
The church where you go for churching. That's it. Those are technical terms. So the second thing was Michelangelo mixed both Catholic saints and other religious mythology people. So that is Sharon. He drives the boat. He's the boat boy.
He's boat boy to hail.
Yeah, I
He's
think
the
it's
boat boy in
caring,
Hades.
though. Like, yeah.
It's
There-
spelled.
it's a few different ways.
It's spelled
Yeah.
Like, it
C-H-A-R-O-N.
depends on which culture that you, like, look into.
Goddamn Karen!
Like, you know that magazine, that metal magazine, Caring? Or Kerrang?
yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
that's based on this, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, the boat layer to Hades.
Yeah. The guy who you give 2 coins to and he takes you across Hades.
And,
he-
then you gotta
and
meet Cerberus.
You give him 2
before you-
coins and he cancels you like a real Karen.
Yes.
Good joke.
Oh, do you think he has the haircut?
You think yeah. Just the bang swoop.
He has the Karen cut. He would now.
But it's almost like Michelangelo was trying to say something about the Catholic Church by including
It's like, yo,
other
you guys are assholes.
mythology creatures in it. But, you know, at this point that he was doing this, he was like in his late 60s. He was fucking over it. I'm pretty sure he ran away a couple times and they captured him to bring him back to finish it.
I never
'cause he was
actually
just
looked
fucking
into
over it.
how long he painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel.
Was it like 7 years?
Yeah, I
or
know
something?
it's several years.
1536 to 1541 for this.
So, yeah,
5.
that was 1536 to 1541. Yeah,
5.
5 years.
But I don't
That's
know
probably
if that
all he did
includes
for
the
5
ceiling.
years.
I can only do
I think
math
that
when I've
was
been
just for
drinking.
this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That took him 5 years to just paint that little section.
No, that whole thing is about 300 people.
And that's
mean-
like, that's a fresco too, right?
Yeah.
It's not.
He must
like,
have been using a paintbrush like I do.
Well, if
I
it's
think he ran away a couple times and they drug his ass back to finish.
yeah, if it's a fresco, it took a completely different technique from
Yeah.
actually just
'Cause you
painting
mix
on a
plaster
canvas. Yeah,
with it.
it's really difficult. To
My
do,
technique of
what
a
I
small
understood.
paintbrush and a hairdryer.
Yeah, you have to be like really fast so it
Yeah.
dries
Into
at a
the
certain
plaster.
time. Yeah, you're basically painting it into a layer that's going to dry and then just be there. But if you're too slow, that's why the Last Supper that Leonardo painted is kind of falling apart.
Because he did it with tempera.
Well, yeah, he took his time with it too, though. Like,
Mhm.
was really slow from what I understand. And it just kind of deteriorated over time because it wasn't properly
It was
done.
both because he did it with an egg-based paint into
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
the plaster, and it was just like, that's a technical term.
The modern day equivalent being like wash, opaque
Yeah.
opaque watercolor. Just
Well, it's like if you had like a layer of painting to do, you have to get it done within this window. And if you don't, then it's just not going to hold up, you know?
Oh, you fucked up now.
Yeah.
You got to start the whole.
But,
you
I
got to
mean-
start the whole ceiling all over again.
Arguably one of the greatest masterpieces of art history, The Last Supper. And like that's completely deteriorated now for the most part.
Sweet.
What do you think the people sitting on the other side of the table look like?
Us.
Judgy as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to Michelangelo. So Michelangelo included a painting of a dude with donkey ears and a serpent wrapped around him, and the serpent's biting his dick. And that dude's going to hell. So when the Pope, which the Pope's name was Pope Paul III, was taken to the church for a preview, his master of ceremonies was shocked to see that was a portrait of him. And he was very offended by it, and the Pope was just like, well, I guess your reach doesn't reach to hell, so it's going to stay. So he would not order Michelangelo to change it because he thought it was funny.
That's
But
awesome.
apparently that guy was kind of an asshole the whole time, was being super judgy while Michelangelo was painting. I was just like, there's too many dicks. So the serpent's biting his dick.
That's probably why he got annoyed with it and just wanted to be done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this guy just bitched and moaned the whole time. Hey,
Hey, I
there's
got
so
an
many
a-
dicks in this painting.
Like, can
So
you
his-
imagine
so his
having to do
response-
something that huge and having a critic over your shoulder barking at you the whole fucking time?
Yeah. And I don't think.
hey,
like,
fuck lips.
Yeah.
Have you learned how to paint? No.
Shut the fuck up!
And Michelangelo is kind of like Da Vinci in the fact that he loved science and he favored science. So doing a fucking giant ass mural in a church was probably like pulling teeth for him. So he's just like, oh, I'm so fucking over this.
Oh, your
Yeah.
stupid Christian
Well, I mean,
iconography.
They were the main
Fucking
patrons
sick
of
of
all
it.
these guys back in the day. Like even
Yeah.
Caravaggio, the biggest fucking scoundrel of that bunch, like just all did religious paintings.
The one thing that they said
Yeah.
is not in this, but in the creation of Adam. If you look at God's drapery, it's a brain.
Yeah.
The brain
Yeah.
stem.
I love those subtle things that
Yeah.
you find in art history. I
Yeah.
think we got one of those coming up here.
But don't hit it yet.
Okay. I don't know.
So,
is it the
um,
next one or?
Yeah, it is.
We got to
Okay.
stay
We
focused
gotta
on snake
stay
dick.
focused on snake dick. But the reason that dude got snake dick is because there were 300 people in this whole judgment. Most of them are men, and a lot of them had their dicks out. There was not one tasteful pair of trousers in that whole thing. So people get offended. And then in 1563, the Council of Trent ordered that drapes and fig leaves would be added to 40 of the figures. But Council of Trent, it wasn't only this.
After Michelangelo's not around anymore.
Yeah,
They have some other schmuck come in and paint
and
over his
paint
shit.
over his shit.
They're like, yo, get a can of spray paint.
but that
Sucks.
Council of Trent, it was basically anything that was too salacious. They were like, you have to fix it or it's going to be destroyed.
I think that's the podcast word of the night.
Salacious.
Like, hey man,
Salacious.
you got to cover this up for me.
But in the 90s, when
We're-
they were restoring it, they uncovered 15 of the 40 dicks. So there's only 30 that are still covered. 30 dongs.
Whereas in last
many
week's episode, those guys were pretty pissed off about Michelangelo not drawing big, girthy fucking
Exactly. When it wasn't even his fault. He was drawing all the cocks he could.
Go check out the pre-Raphaelites episode that we
Yeah.
had last week.
Shave your shit.
It's almost like they hated on him, and he's way cooler than they were.
Yeah.
He was kind of a troll, and I dig it. And you know what Michelangelo's thoughts on this whole thing was?
Christianity can suck a dick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an uncircumcised cock about to blow a load on something. Oh, that is seriously an uncircumcised weasel.
He's like, hey, you don't like dicks? I'm going to give them so many dicks. He just hid dicks everywhere.
Well, this is like the same thing as like the creation of Adam, right? Or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
On the painting.
I couldn't find a good version of it, but opposite of that is another person in drapes, and clearly it's a vagina. So it is a draped dick going.
So
into
he
a
hid
draped
all
vagina.
this stuff in this giant mural on the
Of
ceiling of the
Catholicism,
Sistine
yes.
See,
Chapel.
the other items in the painting I understand, but this one I'm like, what's with Harry Potter? Riding
He
his
just
broomstick.
wanted a way to hide a dick in there,
Okay.
and that's the best position to do it in.
Harry Potter riding his broomstick through the.
Don't ever fucking talk about Harry Potter ever again.
Are you in love with Harry Potter or hate Harry Potter?
I love Troll 1, and I'm so mad that J.K. Rowling fucking completely made a multi-million-dollar industry off of ripping off a fucking shitty horror movie from the 1980s.
Yeah.
This is a discussion for a later time.
No, do it now. It's controversy time.
Yeah. What's your
Air your grievances.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen Troll 1?
I believe so.
The
as a
movie
child.
Troll.
The movie Troll.
I have not.
I probably did at one
Are
point.
you talking about the troll
but I
dolls?
completely forgot.
There
about
is
it.
a
No.
goblin
Troll dolls with the
that
hair?
lives in the laundry room of an apartment building. And Harry Potter has to learn from a wizard that turns out also lives in his apartment building. He has to learn magic from her and then go off and fight this fucking troll that's turning all the fucking townspeople into fucking pod people. And this
So
shit
it's
came out in
the
like
first one.
1986.
Kinda, yeah. But if you also go back far enough, Harry Potter is pretty much just Hitler.
You can't
The
say
story,
his
the
name.
whole story of Hitler, too.
You mean Voldemort?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Tom Riddle?
Yeah.
Okay, so back to this
pretty
painting
much
here.
just
Yeah. There's a dick.
Yo, dicks!
Can I smell? Can I smell? Can I smell your dick?
No.
I feel like if that song was around back then, he would have sang it the whole time he
Probably.
painted this shit.
Probably.
Yeah, I feel like the entire time he's painting, he's just blaring gangster rap. Just,
He's like, you don't like dicks?
In the
I'm gonna give 'em all
1500s.
dicks.
Yeah.
What was gangster rap like in the 1500s?
Fucking Caravaggio slam poetry.
It was a guy with a
He's
fucking
He
lute.
wrote slam
Yeah, I know.
poetry.
He just sat there like memorizing fucking like Caravaggio lyrics.
Yeah, they're like flighting or some shit.
Oh, you
and
suckers be
fucking
hating because you don't
playing
like
a
my
goddamn
painting?
lute.
we need to table this, and I got a great idea.
Please make Caravaggio raps for the Caravaggio episode.
Well, yeah, that's
Oh.
No one knew. No one knew. Only
You know what's funny that I found out recently? That little collar that they used to wear.
Oh, the big frilly
It's
one.
called a ruff.
It's also called a millstone collar. But those are the ones that are like,
the millstones, the giant ones. The
Yeah.
little ones are roughs.
yeah. Elizabethan ruffs.
It's true.
When are you gonna get one?
I
You
mean,
should get one for the Caravaggio one. I mean,
probably should.
We should
probably
all wear
have
them.
for that.
Yeah, I've got one tattooed on me.
make it an event. Well, then you can have two.
Yeah, I want
Aren't
one.
you special?
My mom said so.
That's pretty interesting, though, him hiding the shapes in the Sistine Chapel. I wonder what other stuff is in there that nobody ever found. Like, he's just like, they're never going to see this.
There's got to be
fucking
so much.
stupid Christians. Idiots. Don't want any dicks. I'm going to make everything a dick.
Or do you think he was like not trying to hide it, but he was just there, just painting away, and just ended up looking like dicks because it's all he was thinking about?
I kind of hope he started with the dick shape and then added people to it.
I mean, I'm going to try and bring this up right now.
Yeah, you can see the brain right behind.
Well, I want the full view. Yeah, this one. But yeah, I mean, you can clearly see the brain shape right here.
Yeah.
Just lock us in.
In this pee-pee.
We went over this in our
So
history
small.
class when I was in school. Like, they specifically pointed this out as like, yeah, that's a little riddle there. Like, God's within your head kind of thing,
Yeah.
you know?
Basically, he was just like, it's all made up. I'm
Yeah.
going to put as much shit in here so you know it's all
Do you
made
think,
up.
Yeah, do you think he actually believed in all this, or
No.
I don't think most of the guys back then did, but
No.
it was just like that was the main people who commissioned artwork back then. That's why you see so much religious artwork, like everything, even the shit that we got hanging in the studio here. Like
Yeah.
that's a saint, right?
That's supposed to be purgatory.
This is awesome though, because Goya.
Goya lost his fucking mind.
Yeah.
Dude, I love
That's the guy
He
I
was
talk
just
about.
this. Yeah, all this
That-
shit was just around his house. He just painted it on the walls of his house.
Goya's going to be like a 7-part episode.
Cronus eating his kids.
Yeah.
They just assume that's what it is because he didn't name it, and they just found it after he died, and they were like, "What the fuck?"
Goya's going to be like a 7-part episode, I feel like.
Those are all the best ones, I think, though.
Yeah.
Like the ones that kind of rebelled against the establishment.
Do you
back in the
think
day.
he went into like a mouth of madness kind of meltdown towards the end?
Are you talking about Goya?
Yeah.
100%. Because he was okay. Look at what's it? Pan's Labyrinth and Guillermo del Toro's
Yeah.
representation of the Spanish Civil War. Goya
Yeah.
lived through that, so he
Oh,
saw that
fuck.
first fucking
Yeah.
hand. So the amount of post-traumatic stress syndrome, and he was also going deaf, so he's lost his ability to communicate with people on an outward, and like he was processing all this emotional trauma from witnessing the Spanish Civil War. You know, so he
Yeah.
So is he greased up deaf guy?
He might be.
mm,
Only one way to find out. Who's covering Goya? In Greece. Greased up deaf guy.
I vote Christina because she does the best research.
God damn it.
now you're just putting all the work off on her.
Yeah.
It's okay. I don't like having a social life.
All right, so that was all we had, though, right?
You're not allowed out of the house.
Yeah, that's all I came up with.
That was great. Thank you.
No problem.
Some good controversial artworks there. I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
find more at some point.
There's more. There was one where like there was this dude in the 30s that painted a painting of a girl, and they're like, but take it down because it's definitely like an ode to pedophilia because you could see like her underwear because she's like with her knee up. But then I found out there is another painting that dude did that for some reason no one's angry about, and it's called The Guitar Lesson. You don't have to pull it up on here, but people look it up at home. That is way more fucked up. Way more fucked up.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just look it up on your phone right now.
I don't want to.
Just do it.
Don't
be a pussy.
I don't. Yeah.
You'll probably get a little giggle out of it, but yeah,
I'm good.
they should have been more upset about that one. If we're gonna be honest.
Yeah.
There's other ones too that were like way overdone, like the Piss Jesus one.
Piss Jesus was good.
So I guess the interesting question is, what do you think these guys would have been making if they weren't spent so much time just hustling commissions from the church?
Piss
That's a
Jesus.
good question.
They seem to have such a backhanded response to the church. Like, oh, you don't like dicks? I'm going to hide dicks in there, you fucking faggots. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Probably lots of dicks, if we're gonna be honest. I think
And
I
Reg-
think they just
I
really
mean,
like
we've,
dicks.
seen, we've seen some of them, like
Wait.
the
Guys, we only
painting
have-
of Caravaggio did, where the guy's getting his tooth pulled at the
Wait,
bar.
wait, wait,
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
wait.
we
Shit
made
like
it
that.
53 minutes before Reggie dropped a hard F.
Question. Going back.
I'm sorry I
'cause,
called Christians. Sorry.
going back all the way
We're
to
sorry.
Albrecht Dürer.
Sorry, not sorry.
Didn't Dürer send that vellum picture to Michelangelo that got
I think so.
Which one?
the one that got destroyed because you can only see it over candlelight, which we're pretty sure was a dick pic. It was probably a dick pic. It was probably
Good for him.
Yeah.
The first dick pic.
so they probably would have just been doing that, just pen paling each other's dicks.
And oysters
Or
or,
just
whatever.
doing whatever they
That's a
want,
sign- That's a
you know?
sign of fucking like tame and strange. Got some wine and oysters.
Like, what would you guys paint if you weren't worried about selling it to people? You know, if that was your sole method of it.
No one buys my painting. That's what
Yeah.
I
Well,
paint,
yeah.
whatever.
Burn-
But
churches.
when you paint things that you want to paint, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of what I'm getting at. Like,
Yeah, what if these guys? What would they have been doing?
What,
if
what would
they
you
didn't
What would
have-
you paint if there was no restrictions?
I mean, all sorts of things.
That is the most specific answer.
I know, right?
I'd paint lots of things.
I would go back in time and remake that obituary cover.
I wouldn't remake that because that's fucking perfect. And that's one of my favorite things ever. But yeah,
I'd probably paint like Bob Ross.
shout out to Michael Whelan.
I'd just paint like Bob Ross. Just my own little world. Just happy.
But I mean, there were some
Happy
pretty
burning trees.
cool church commission paintings that came out, like stuff like that, where it's just weird flying.
Oh yeah,
demons
well
and
those are
shit.
like masterpieces, of art history. So some definite good shit did come out of there. Even like some of the Greek mythology stuff, like all that is fucking awesome. Like, I guess I would do stuff like that, like just non-Christian things.
We should do a whole show about that.
Wow. So
Non-Christian
I guess
things?
that almost
We can call it that too.
can boil down.
Non-Christian things.
Blasphemy.
Sponsored by BamBurnsThings.com.
And Bam Margera until we get a cease and desist.
Join us next week while we interview CKY. Well, I guess that boils down to like a majority of art history is probably the history of illustration because we were commissioning people to like help with visualize the stories.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't anywhere near as much like visual stuff back then,
Yeah.
Like writing like in books was barely a thing because there wasn't even printing press back then. So
Well,
The
actually,
majority of
back
people couldn't
then,
read.
right around that time, printing press came out.
yeah, but it was still
16s.
not like a widely
Yeah.
available thing. Like you couldn't go get a paper somewhere
Yeah.
and read about anything, Like, yeah, like you were saying, a lot of people didn't even know how to
Hi.
fucking read.
Can you believe this article? They're taking away Mr. Potato Head's dick. I'm angry and offended.
Oh man, do you think how many like rumors just spread as fact from word of mouth because there was no way to fact check back then?
Oh, yeah, there was huge games of telephone going on back then.
Yeah.
And that's why you had
Generation
ignorance.
long games of the fucking telephone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
love to do
Grandpa
fly
says
ball.
this. Oh, Grandpa's been dead 2 years. I know.
Yeah.
Just took time to get here.
Racism lives on.
All right, well, I guess that's all we got today. We're going off on tangents now. But this is
What's
fun.
wrong with tangents?
I mean, nothing.
Sidebar,
What-
crowbar.
What are the viewers going to do?
What are you going to do, viewers?
They haven't been listening for the past
Like,
45
share, and subscribe.
minutes.
Yeah. Like, share, subscribe. Hashtag Bam Margera.
Hashtag me also.
Maybe I can get Bam to be on the show.
I said an
Dude, you don't want to tell him where we
F-word.
are. He won't leave.
I think that would be cool, though. I got a lot of questions for him.
He actually is a painter. So,
Who's
Oh,
that?
that's cool.
Bam Margera.
Paints?
I mean,
Does he paint burning churches?
No, he paints Wawa in the fucking coastline of Westchester, Pennsylvania.
pretty much.
All right, we're out.
Side note.
Damaged by you, damaged by me. I'm confused, don't wanna be confused.
I feel like kids today would be like, who are you? Oh, no. He says he's got like every weekend like 50, 60 kids just hanging out at his house.
No, that's not creepy.
Excuse me.